All right, gentlemen. So we have a couple of products to talk about today, and these are products that do phase monitoring, voltage monitoring, surge protection, stuff like that. And these are very important things that, the industry is going to a lot of inverter-based technology, circuit boards, and a lot of things. And we know that if we hit a certain peak voltage that's over what the unit can handle, we can have issues with failing boards and stuff like that. Then people blame it on the machinery, saying that machinery's junk when it's really a voltage problem in the area. So a couple of products that can help with this. We're going to start with a single phase product. Brian, I'll start with you because just the way it comes across the screen. We have a Sentry 3-in-1. That's a single phase product. And tell us a little bit about it, and maybe we'll go through it and how it can help maybe save the life of equipment down the road.
Yeah, so this is our Sentry 3-in-1. It is a single phase line voltage monitor with built-in surge protection, a contactor, and then a disconnect switch right here so you can turn off the power right at the source.
Okay, so can that cover come off so we can see the internals?
Yep, with 3 screws, you can pop the cover right off, and then you can see our single phase line voltage monitor in our ICM 492C, our single phase surge protection device in our ICM 517A, and then a contactor, and then the breaker switch right here.
Okay, so what is the thought process behind putting all of this in one box? What's the thought process there?
So the problem is that a lot of times people will buy just one or the other. They'll maybe just buy the surge protector, but then fail to buy the voltage monitor, or just the voltage monitor and fail to buy the surge protector.
Guys, quick break from the education on surge protection and voltage monitoring. I'm working from home today. I'm doing a bunch of billing. So I'm using Jobber. If you guys want to run a business and stay organized, it's an option for you guys, okay? With the link in the summary of this video, you can click it, get 14 days of free service and some savings wrapped up in the first few months. So it is getjobber.com/HVAC know-it-all. Check it out.
By having them all in one package, we get both of the protections in one. And also by allowing us to use a contactor, it's much better for inductive loads such as compressors and things like that have motors and stuff in it. When you use the block relays that are used in some other products, they don't handle inductive loads like a contactor does. So that's one thing that the ICM product is exclusive on, is that it uses more of the inductive load rated contactor rather than just block relays. The other advantage is that we're also adding in a disconnect to shut power off. This makes it easier to work on equipment when for a contractor as well. So having them all in one, just make sure you're covered for both surge protection and voltage monitor. We had talked about to our customers about the mini splits, for example. Mini splits are rated at a maximum allowable voltage of 253 volts. If you go above 253 volts, you're going to blast the mini split circuit board. So if you just buy the surge protector, you're not going to have the protection you need. You have to have both the voltage monitor and the surge protector. Surge protector takes care of fast acting transients. Voltage monitor takes care of the over and under voltage issues.
All right, now let's walk us through how a component like this would work. So we send our incoming power from the fuse panel or breaker panel to this box, and we come in to the underside of that breaker, right? Is that how we feed our power in?
Yep, right here.
Yes, perfect. So the breaker gets turned on. We power up our voltage monitoring device, right? Is that what happens next? So that voltage monitoring device, if it sees that the voltage is within range and it's not outside of that range, is the next thing that happens. The contactor pulls in. Is that what we're going to do there?
As long as the voltage is within the specifications that's set up on there, and this is all preset, so the customer really doesn't have to do anything for 240 volts. They just literally got to bring the power in and then connect their load here to the contactor. Once that's done, and they throw the disconnect switch on, then the unit will power up. This will also be powered up at the same time. This is in parallel with the line coming in, so it's always active. The little green light shows you that it's active. And then the voltage monitor has a nice LCD display. It comes up, tells you what the incoming voltage is, and if it's within range, it's going to pull in the contactor and energize your load. Once that voltage drops out of range, it will drop out the contactor.
All right. And what is the delay? I mean, I guess it's going to wait for the voltage to get back within range before it pulls the contactor back in. Is that how it works?
It will never power the device. It'll never power a device if the voltage is out of range. And if it does fall out of range, it's going to wait till the voltage comes back into range. And then there's a built-in anti-short cycle timer that prevents short cycling of the compressor. So there, you'll
Okay.
have to wait maybe a small short cycle delay, and then the contactor will pull in.
Okay, so the delay in the voltage monitor is a delay on make then, the way you described it. So
It's an
after our
anti-short
voltage get
cycle delay on break.
yes, delay on break. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Okay, now if the surge protection sees a transient voltage it's not supposed to see, is it along the same lines as what happens with the voltage monitoring? The contactor then opens up and doesn't allow current and
Not
voltage
exactly.
flow to the
Not
no?
exactly on this
Okay.
product.
All right.
What we do here is the surge suppressor is always in play.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got what they call TMOVs inside of them, thermally protected metal oxide resistors that clamp the voltage at a rated voltage that the TMOV is rated for, and then suppresses the rest of the surge or expels the rest of the surge as heat energy. So you're taking electrical energy, you're converting it to heat energy and dissipating it. That's why we got this nice metal box. Some competitors' models might not have a metal box, it might have a plastic box. We feel that the metal box is not only better for a thermal product like this, TMOVs are widely used for surge suppression, but also we feel that the robust metal box will also contain serious surges. And you know, when you get a serious surge, sometimes parts can launch themselves off the board
Yeah,
if it's hard, if it's a big enough surge. And
I've
this
seen
metal
it.
box much better at containing those things and those extreme events. What's going to happen is it's going to clamp the voltage, and this can happen many times as long as you don't exceed the maximum allowable limit for this device. Now the allowable limit is 100,000 amps for a single event, and then multiple events under 100,000 amps. All right, but it does not disconnect you from the service. If this unit exceeds its allowable limit, this little LED will go out. Once that LED goes out, you know that you have to service the control. And that's what is nice about this product is you just take the component out. You don't have to replace the whole product. You just take the component out, and then you can just replace this individual component. And each of these, this is UL listed, this is UL recognized. So they individually have their own safety ratings.
Okay. So two more questions. The breaker, what is the rating on the breaker for amperage
40 amps.
wise? How much, sorry, Brian?
40.
40 amps. Okay, cool. But this is going to be paired with a breaker in the home anyway. So it doesn't really matter the size of this breaker really, because it can work within a range of products as long as we're protected with the right amperage breaker at the panel, then we're good to go, right?
That's a great observation. You know, this is coming in after a disconnect, right? So you're going to have a disconnect, and out of the load side of your disconnect, you're going to come into this product, then come out of this product and go to your unit, your appliance. So yeah, it's going to be protected behind a 15 to 60 amp breaker. In fact, that's a requirement for the surge suppressor. This is a
Mm-hmm.
type 2 surge suppressor, so it means it must be installed on the load side of the service, protected by a 15 to 60 amp breaker.
Okay. All right. Now this device can be installed outside?
Yes.
Yes.
All
The
right.
plastic is a NEMA 4 rated case with gasketing, and it's made of PTB plastic so that UV rays don't degrade it and let it crack.
Okay, so this product would be used in like a residential application or light commercial application where we have a single phase piece of equipment, right?
Yep, 240 volts, single phase applications.
Perfect. Now,